I have experienced unexpected events and strange occurrences in my life. I don't think 1 in 1,000 people have gone through what happened to me. I doubt those who haven't experienced it would believe what I'm about to tell you now. My mother has a sister, whom we call Auntie. Auntie is kind and loves us very much. She has a son who is about the same age as me. We call him Fokyo. Fokyo is already married and has a child. Auntie's husband is much older than she is. People say that my aunt is being taken care of by her grandparents in the afterlife. To be honest, I don't know exactly how things unfolded, but I heard that Auntie had a boyfriend at some point. However, she eventually stayed only with her husband. I don't know what happened to Auntie's former boyfriend, and I never asked. Auntie was always calm and kind, just as I mentioned earlier. But unfortunately, she was diagnosed with cancer at a young age and passed away from it when she was just 50. When she died, we all went to her house to help with the funeral. Her husband, my uncle, seemed devastated by her death, sitting alone and grieving. Fokyo and I took care of most of the arrangements, as there weren't many people around at the funeral home, especially at night. It was just Fokyo's family, my mother, and me at the time. Now this is where the story begins. At around 9 o'clock in the evening, there were no more guests at the funeral home. While we were sitting in front of the house, we heard the sound of Fokyo's 5-year-old son crying upstairs. I ran upstairs, wondering what was going on, and saw the boy crying in front of my uncle's room. When I asked him why he was crying, he said he saw his grandmother standing in front of the wardrobe. Everyone thought he was just imagining things, but I couldn't shake the feeling that it might really be Auntie's ghost. Later that night, when it was time to sleep, my uncle and everyone else stayed on the first floor, but I decided to sleep on the second floor by myself. I told them I wanted to sleep peacefully, but the truth is, I wanted to see for myself if what the boy saw was real. I thought I wasn't scared, but as I lay in bed alone, I felt a little anxious. I wasn't sure if it was the darkness or the thought of my aunt's ghost that was making me uneasy. Gradually, I fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I was startled awake when I felt a cold hand grab my leg. I looked around but could only see a shadowy figure in the darkness. It had the shape of a person. I was terrified and didn't dare to move. The shadow moved toward the wardrobe and stood in front of it. I quickly grabbed a light and turned it on, but as soon as I did, the shadow disappeared. I knew in my heart that I was being haunted. I wasn't sure if Auntie's spirit was tied to something unresolved or if there was something specific in that wardrobe. So, I hurried downstairs and told my uncle what had happened. My uncle couldn't think of anything at first, but then he remembered there was an old box in the wardrobe from before his marriage. He said he had never opened it and didn't know what was inside. I asked if I could look at the box, and he agreed, telling me, "You can check it, but don't show me what's inside. You and your cousins should manage it as you see fit." So, I went back upstairs, opened the small box, and found nothing unusual, just a small folded piece of paper. When I unfolded it, I saw a short note written in a man's handwriting. It said, "I will call you at 12 p.m. Please wait." I realized that this must have been a letter from Auntie's old boyfriend. Perhaps she had hidden it, fearing her husband might find it, and now she was haunted by the unresolved memory of it. I decided not to tell my uncle about the letter and instead destroyed it. The next day, nothing unusual happened. Everything seemed peaceful. On the day of Auntie's prayer ceremony, a large butterfly appeared at the altar. After the prayer was finished, the butterfly disappeared, and I knew then that Auntie had finally found peace.